There are also Westerners in Afghanistan tonight who do not want to leave, who in fact are refusing to leave. And my next guest is one of them. Penn Farthing was a commando in the British Royal Marines more than a decade ago when he broke up a dogfight in the Afghan town of Nawzad. And he took on a mission that he never expected after his deployment. Penn went back and he opened a sanctuary for abandoned or abused animals, mainly dogs and donkeys, in the Afghan capital of Kabul. His charity has reunited 1,600 soldiers with the dogs and the cats that became so important to them when they were in country. And during this whole process, he did something else. He trained Afghanistan's first women veterinarians, several of them. In 2014, he was named CNN's Hero of the Year for the remarkable work that he's been doing. Tonight, he is still in Kabul, and he's refusing to leave without his rescue staff, 70-plus Afghans, whose fate, if he left, Penn Farthing can't even think about. Penn, thank you for being with us, and obviously with one of your little friends. Can you, first and foremost, before we get to the work that you've been doing, tell me what the situation is on the ground in Afghanistan tonight?
Thank you for having me on. I'm absolutely fuming. I've just listened to your previous comments, and you telling me the State Department has said this is congestion at the airport. That man needs to stand down now and resign. It's not congestion. This is a humanitarian crisis of unbelievable proportions. There are thousands of desperate people at that airport trying to escape, and they can't get in. These are people who've got passports. These are people who've been given documentation to go to America. These are people who don't have documentation to go to America. It's an absolute disaster. There is no control whatsoever. And I want to correct you because my wife was involved at the airport just like 3 days ago trying to get out. It wasn't Taliban shooting over the top of their heads. It was American troops shooting over the top of their heads to disperse the crowd. So it's an absolute disaster, and something needs to be done about it now. She's finally managed to get out. She got out last night. We managed to get her smuggled into the airport. When she left on her aircraft, this is an aircraft like the images you're showing now, it was empty. If you go to my Instagram, to my Twitter, you'll see the photographs. I'm not making this up. She sat there on the aircraft. It left Kabul empty. Somebody's heads need to roll for this, and they need to get somebody in charge who can actually get this done, because we are going to end up in a few weeks' time, or 10 days or 5 days, whenever America decides to pull the plug, we will leave people behind. This is absolutely disgusting. We should hang our heads in shame for what we have done to this country. And if President Biden ever says again he has no regrets, how about all the thousands of US soldiers, British soldiers, including 2 of my own Marines, who lost their lives in this country for what? We have just managed to remove the Taliban from power to put them back in power. This is it's a travesty. And I am absolutely so angry now when I hear these politicians, these department officials just trying to downplay what is going on here now. There are thousands of people who can't get in. I've got expats who are still trying to get to the airport. They've done 3 or 4 attempts now. They cannot get in. It's not acceptable. We cannot allow this to continue, and I'm fed up with politicians trying to pretend everything's okay. It is not.
Penn, I just went to your Instagram, and I'm not sure if I'm just doing this on the fly. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Can we zoom in on this picture at all? This is the photograph that Penn's talking about, where his wife. I'm not sure you can see it. It's very, very dark, but you're right. I'm seeing dozens and dozens and dozens of empty seats on the flight, and we have been hearing about. We've been hearing about the empty seats because they can't get enough people processed through those checkpoints. And I have firsthand accounts as well of people being turned away who allied, of Afghans who allied with the Americans and can't get through the Marine checkpoints. They've gotten through the Taliban checkpoints, shockingly, but then were turned away by Marines, which is astounding to me. And I should also say you're right about the gunfire. There have been U.S. military members who have had to fire guns to get the crowd under control. There were deaths on the runway in the first day that this began to unfold because there was a crush that got into the airport. I think we were at 7 dead, either under the wheels of the C-17s or in the wheel wells or falling to their deaths, or some being shot as they were trying to bum rush the airport. So you're right, there is gunfire from the Americans, but the images we are showing clearly are Kalashnikovs, and even though it looks like military members, those are Afghans with Kalashnikovs firing. I also have firsthand reports from the people I'm working on trying to get out that each time they've come, there's been a disbursement of gunfire from the Taliban and whippings and beatings. And they oftentimes, and I witnessed it firsthand when I was there, they'll flip the gun around and hold on to the barrel and then use it as a baseball bat to beat people. And I witnessed some of that as well in some of the videos that have been sent back. Penn, what's going to happen with your 71 people that you're trying to get out? You've been trying to communicate with the British Foreign Office. What have they been saying to you?
Finally, last night, we received news that we were to submit the list of my Afghan team so they could start to be processed. And I was just so grateful that I've had that opportunity now. But I'm still back to the number one problem that everybody is facing is how do I get, and you've shown those images there, I've got 71 staff and their families, young children, young women. How do I get them through that to get them in the airport? There's just me. So I will be stood there with 71 Afghans. How am I meant to lead them through just that absolute chaos to get them in the airport? I'm absolutely terrified that I won't be able to do it. We shouldn't be in this position. This is meant to be America and Britain, two of the most powerful nations in the world, and we can't even organise an evacuation from Kabul airport, which just literally a few days ago, we had complete control of. It's an absolute disaster, and somebody somewhere has got to take charge. And right now, I'm sorry to say this, that America and Britain, they are not. It needs to be sorted. We will leave people behind, desperate people who deserve to be evacuated. As you said, people who even have American passports already will be left behind. And what is the Taliban going to do to them? Because no one's going to come back again in a week's time to try and get them out. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done today.
Penn, just quickly, may I ask you, and I know that the priority right now is to get people out, especially all of those staff members, but I'm looking at your pictures and I know the statistics. You've got over 200 animals that you have been caring for. What will happen to them once you're going to have to disband at some point?
We are desperately also working on a plan B for the animals as well to try and get them out. I've actually got access now. We're trying to work on a cargo plane for the animals to remove them, but I have the exact same problem. How would I get them into that airport? It all comes down to the access to the airport. It needs to be improved, and it needs to be done now, not tomorrow, not the next day, not next week, today.
Penn Farthing, I can't thank you enough for telling us, live from the ground in Kabul what the situation is like and for sharing your story with us. I am sending you all good hope that you will get some response from the British Foreign Office to help your staff get out. And I do hope that you can reunite with your wife as well. And hopefully, I mean, obviously it is a tall order to get the animals out when we're talking about tens of thousands of people. But God bless you, Penn.
Exactly. Thank you.